Hey everyone, well, what a hell of a week. Sorry this video is a wee bit later than anticipated, but it's been pretty full on. So last time I did this video I was in Osaka and I still had I think a day left, so I went to Osaka Castle, and very impressive area and building. Inside's been quite modernised, so it's, yeah, I think it's been refurbished quite recently, but yeah, very impressive building on the exterior. Yeah, I think it's about 2 kilometres in diameter for the whole area, so yeah, quite a big space, big moat, yeah, as you'll see from these photos, and the view from up top of the castle was spectacular as well. So yeah, very cool. So the next, while I was there, I went back to Little Long Beach and met a Japanese local who spoke reasonably good English, and he took me to a very small bar that a friend of his has, and they're both musicians, so they had a guitar and bass that have their own internal amplifiers. So we had a bit of a jam in the bar, which was really cool. And then the next day I took the bullet train, the Shinkansen, I think they call it, Shinkansen, and then to Tokyo, and then took another train to Narita, as I was flying out of Narita airport in a few days time on the Tuesday to Bangkok, so I thought I'd get a hotel closer to the airport, make it a bit easier. Narita was beautiful, surrounded by hills and bamboo forests and that, and a lot more laid back than the big places, Kyoto, Osaka and Tokyo especially. Yeah, beautiful wee area. Now when I got off the train I was having a cigarette and then figuring out where my hotel is, if I needed a taxi or could walk there, and I was approached by 3 young gentlemen who were able to speak English. They've been practicing, and they asked me if I would like to join them to learn how to pray, for Buddhism I think it is. So I met up with them the next day at the train station and went round to one of their houses, and they gifted me these prayer beads. So yeah, which was really, I was quite blown away by that, and yeah, they taught me the prayer and what it means, and yeah, it was really special, because as I've said, this is sort of the thing that I'm looking for on this trip, to experience different things and culture and religion, and find things that I can bring back home with me and share. And so that was, you know, quite random, but a very special thing that happened. And they were very interested in New Zealand, likewise I was, about their culture in Japan and things. So yeah, yeah, thank you so much to those guys for that. That was, yeah, I'll remember that forever. And then that night I ended up at a bar which happened to have a birthday party going on, which was for the owner of the bar. I'm pretty sure she was working there anyway. I'm pretty sure it was her bar. And I thought, oh, a private function, I shouldn't be here. But they were like, oh, welcome, who are you? Sit down, would you like some food? You know, a beer? Like, yeah, so I ended up staying for a few hours. And then afterwards, me and 2 other women went to a karaoke bar, and that was heaps of fun. That was really good fun. Nice small wee place, but had a massive selection of songs, and yeah, everyone had a really good time. It was good fun. As I think a lot of people know, karaoke is very big in Japan, and yeah, it doesn't matter if you're any good or not. Just everyone likes getting into it. So yeah, very cool. And then on the Tuesday, I take a flight to Bangkok. And as you can see from this video footage, extremely busy. This was pretty much right outside the hotel. Not much footpath space to walk on. You're pretty much walking on the road next to the quite a heavy traffic, which is a bit nerve-wracking. But yeah, very vibrant, colourful, busy place, and it's in little Chinatown area that I was staying. So that was really cool. And I the next day met the crew for the G Adventures tour, and that was really nice. And then we went out for a meal, a few of us together with the tour guide, and there's a place where you cook your own meal at the table. It's sort of, a pot full of water, and you order what you want and put all your veggies and meat and put everything in, and yeah, do it yourself. And the duck is amazing. The duck was so very good. So then the next day we met up and took a canal ride, and that was really cool. Some of the houses on the waterfront are like all sunken in, or maybe in half, or the back's dropped, or yeah, I'm not sure if people are living in those ones or not, or if they're abandoned. But yeah, this sort of makes you wonder how how they're able to stand up some of these houses, right over the water. Just if they collapse, they just end up in the drink. So and then yeah, there was we fed the fish, and just before we pulled over, there was a big monitor lizard up on the side of the bank, which I have a photo of here. And then we went to one of the temples. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name, and that had the reclining Buddha, which is about 47 meters long, I think. Very giant statue, and on the feet there's 108 squares that you can see there, and I think it has to do with different aspects of life. I think that's how it was explained. Sorry, I'm not very good at explaining this sort of stuff. There's a lot to take in. So yeah, but big, impressive structure. So yeah, and all the temples are beautiful. Lots of gold, and yeah, lots of statues everywhere of the Buddha. Turns out Buddhism is quite heavily mixed with Hinduism as well. There's a mixture of both. Which is interesting compared to like the Chinese one with the happy Buddha, with the big belly. These other ones, as you can see, are more on the Indian side rather than that. But yeah, so yeah, impressive, golden statues and things everywhere. And then we took the overnight train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, which is about a 13-hour journey. So we left about 8 o'clock in the morning, in the evening, and arrived about 9:30, 10 the next morning. Yeah, I mean, for a train ride, it was a bunk bed situation, so top and bottom, but reasonably comfortable, especially for someone who's a bit shorter like me. But if you were quite tall, it might not be so comfortable. But yeah, but it was quite interesting. But being through night, you don't get to see any scenery so much until the next morning when it's daylight, and you can look out the window and have a bit of a look at the countryside. Not a huge amount of sleep. It was sort of very sporadic sleep on and off through the night on that train ride. So by the time we got to Chiang Mai, I was pretty tired, looking forward to a coffee and a cigarette. So after that we grabbed breakfast, come to the hotel, and then we went to another temple which is way up the top of the hill in Chiang Mai. And again, I think there's 308 steps up to the top, up to the temple and that. Good view, and the temple is again, the temples are beautiful and beautifully laid out. The structures, all the gold and artwork and stuff like that, and even intricate woodwork as well. Very impressive. So we had a little bit of free time, which I took to go and get some laundry done, and then come back to the hotel, and then went with two others from the crew to do a cooking class. And this is what we made. So there's a green curry, and I think there might have been a red curry as well. And my favourite was the dessert, the banana dessert with coconut milk, coconut cream, sugar, a pinch of salt, and I could have devoured bowls and bowls of that. It was so good, so very good. And then after the cooking class, went to a Muay Thai fighting event. So there was 7 fights, and I think only 2 of them had 2 Thai fighters. All the rest, there was some from England, one from Ireland. So it was sort of foreigner against Thai. But great event. The tour guide Sek and Sharon, one of the other crew, had a 20 baht bet on the fight of who was going to win. So that 20 got passed back and forward through the event, and then I can't remember who finally got to take the 20 baht at the end. Good fights. It was really good fun to watch. So a couple of KOs in there too, which very cool. So today, in about an hour's time, I think we're off to the next location, which is on the border to Laos. So it's the last spot in Thailand before we end up in Laos, and spend a few days going through Laos. So just getting ready for that. Probably the first thing I noticed when I got into Bangkok was definitely the heat. That's definitely something that you'd have to get used to. I definitely think I could see myself living in Thailand, especially Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is a very cool place. Lots going on, but doesn't seem so. It's definitely not as full on as Bangkok. Bangkok is quite overwhelming. I thought Tokyo and places like that were really busy, but Bangkok was another level again. But Chiang Mai seems to be a bit more quieter, and I've enjoyed Thailand so far. The people are great. A wee bit easier for English only speakers than Japan. A lot more people speak English or understand, so it's made it quite a bit easier. I haven't had to use Google Translate so far, since being here, and having obviously a guide, a Thai speaking guide, helps a lot too. But even for the first day or so that I was on my own, it wasn't too difficult at all. But I did feel very quickly that unlike Japan, which doesn't matter the day or night, whenever where you're walking or what you're doing, you always feel very safe. Whereas in Bangkok it didn't feel as safe. I realised quickly you have to have your wits about you here, but nothing has happened that's made me feel unsafe. Just sort of the general feeling with how busy it is and everything. It didn't feel as safe as Japan, but very, very cool. And so looking forward to the next part. And it's been great so far. I'm trying to remember to take more photos and video footage and that to add to these videos and post online. So it's all new to me. It's very easy for me to forget to take photos and that, instead of standing there watching the whole experience and like, oh, I should take a photo of that. So I apologise in advance, and I'm sure that'll get better as I go along. But yeah, so I guess that's it for now, and until next week, don't forget to check out the podcast too, where I've been ringing in the boys while I'm away, and they've been looking at some interesting facts of each place that I'm going into that I don't even know about. So that's quite interesting. So void of meaning, you can see that the links on my page for that. And so until next week, take it easy, and I'll catch you then.